soccer team had 27 players this year. We beat everybody except Concordia Redford. The score was 2-1. We lost to St. Matthew Walled Lake 6-2. The soccer team's record in the regular season was 5 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie. We tied St. Michael Wayne.
The varsity volleyball team had 9 players. The varsity coach was Miss L and Miss Powers. The volleyball team had won 5 games and lost 2. They lost to Northville Christian and St. John Waltz.
The JV team was coached by Mrs. Sankey and Mrs. Rantham. The JV team had 14 players this year. They lost 6 games and won 1. They beat St. Matthew Westland. They also beat St. Matthew Walled Lake in a tournament.
Cross-country team had 8 people. The coach was Mr. Alderson. Those sports are ending, which means boys basketball and cheerleading are starting. We will give you more information once these sports start.
The 2016 presidential election is just a year away.
And because of all the popularity of it, we are here to talk about it.
First, we want to talk about some popular candidates.
First up, Bernie Sanders, current member of the Senate.
Bernie Sanders, it's not exactly the economic ideals that I support or value.
He plans as president to work with many topics such as the Iran nuclear deal, making college tuition free, lower prescription drug prices, and to reform Wall Street. He is currently the second most popular Democratic candidate, so he could be that party's candidate in the election.
For anyone, Trump is a popular topic. His many topics of change have been stereotyped, but what he actually wants could possibly help. He just does a bad job of doing it.
I think that Donald Trump is a very smart man, and I think he has had a lot of very good experience running businesses. I think he's very good at negotiating.
I think Donald Trump may anger others in other countries that would hinder us going ahead with the world.
And I think those leadership qualities might make him a good president. I'm a little bit concerned sometimes when he says things that you think to yourself, did he really just say that? He kind of talks too much sometimes and says too many things. But I'm starting to think that it's possible that he would make a good president.
He wants the Second Amendment reformed, he wants to deport all illegal citizens, and he wants to reform our taxing system.
Clinton, another popular topic, could possibly make the ballot for the election, but those chances are slim.
She wants many things changed, and some of them are earlier education, cleaner energy, and world-class education.
Last but not least, Jeb Bush. He has had a campaign all about how he is a Bush, and how since his brother and father helped us, he could too.
He'd like to strengthen all things on the U.S. border, such as better surveillance, better infrastructure, and a border patrol that will deploy resources in any time of need, such as an attack on the border.
Now the head of the Democratic side of our election is Clinton, with the Sanders as a vice. We won't get into the Republicans until the next episode.
Future Republican debates will happen on 11/10, 12/15, 2/6, 2/13, and 2/26, with more in the future preceding the election next November.
And the Democratic debates will happen 11/14, 12/19, 1/17, and more preceding the election. Cougar Challenge is a series of games between 8th grade and 7th grade. The games that were played were volleyball and basketball. There is also a relay race that involved 4 kids from each grade and an ice cream eating contest that involved 1 person from every class, and Mr. Alderson competed for the faculty.
The 8th grade won the volleyball game against 7th grade. The score was 25-23. It was a very close game. Then the 8th grade had to play the teachers. The 8th graders lost that
game. The rules of the relay race were that 1 kid was blindfolded and had to carry an egg on a spoon. Then another person had to guide the blindfolded person around cones and get them back to their line.
In the basketball game, the 7th graders lost to the 8th graders. The score for that game was 22-5.
In the ice cream eating contest, 8 people had to eat ice cream without using their hands. In that contest, Joy McMahon was the winner.
Everyone had lots of fun at the end of the day.
To start out Grandparents' Day, all the grandparents and kids gathered in the church for a chapel service. We sang songs, watched a video about the prodigal child, and worshiped the Lord. After that, all the classes went to their homeroom with their grandparents or VIPs and played a game or did crafts. We interviewed some of the grandparents and kids. We asked them about what they liked and about what they did with their grandparents and if they had fun. At 11:30, the grandparents left, and we hope they will all come back next year.
Karen,
Who are you here for?
Elizabeth Cantrell.
How do you like Guardian so far?
Oh, I love it.
What did you think of the chapel service this morning?
Thought it was very good and very interesting. Kept your attention.
What are you hoping to get out of from today?
Just experience with my granddaughter and to meet the teacher, Miss Eisenman.
Thank you.
Matthew.
How are you enjoying having time with your grandparents today?
It's pretty fun.
What have you done so far with them today?
Did some crafts and interviewed them.
What's been your favorite part about having them here today?
Doing the crafts.
All right, thank you.
On October 21st, the first graders went on a field trip to the Environmental Interpretive Center. They got to meet their guide. Before they started their day, they talked about what they are going to be doing. On the trip, they learned about different kinds of animals and the seasonal changes that occur during this time of year. They also learned about the difference between a male and a female duck. They walked on a trail and learned what happens when trees fall and serve as habitats for animals. The kids had a lot of fun, and it was a good experience for them.